Good morning, fellow Southern Cameroonians, wherever you are. Today, we have just wake up with news that is coming from the United States of America that the TPS that was granted to many Cameroonians, Anglophone and Francophone, have just been terminated. This is a very devastating information which we have been expecting, but this have put at risk the life of many Cameroonians, especially Southern Cameroonians who face persecution back home at risk because they will face deportation. Hundreds of them, hundreds of thousands of them will face deportation from the United States of America. Today is the 5th of June, 2025. My name is Capo Daniel. I'm chairman of PRAP, the People's Right Advocacy Platform. So, fellow patriot at home and abroad, today I speak to you. I come to do this presentation with you with a very heartbreaking development which we have received from our friends within the United States, and it is confirmed that the United States Department of Homeland Security has just announced on their website, and we have been informed as well by people within the system, of the termination of the temporal protective status. That means the TPS, which was granted to nationals of Cameroon, effective on the 4th of August 2025. That means from August 2025, those hundreds of thousands of our people who had received this protection in the United States of America will be deported back to Cameroon. If nothing is done, they will be deported. Those who have received information, invitation to go to the ICE, may not come back home. So this directly affects the lives of thousands of our people who are in the diaspora living in the United States of America, who have fled there to sought refugee status. So they have received protection under this law. Now it has been terminated. They went to America not by choice, but out of desperation. They fled terror, insecurity back home, persecution, and state violence from Cameroon to the United States of America. They found temporary protection, but now that shield has been withdrawn and they face deportation, imminent deportation from the 5th of August 2025. This is very disturbing, and we know for sure the risk they face, so we must speak out and advise them to take immediate action. Let me tell you what this means, since we have been engaged with our people in the United States to help some of them to support their application for them to obtain this TPS. This will mean that Patricia, a mother of two who fled from Bamenda to the United States of America through Mexico, after witnessing her husband being executed by Cameroon army on false allegation that he was an Amazonian fighter, she fled away from Bamenda. Because of that insecurity, she will now be faced with deportation back to Cameroon when the situation have not changed. She is working currently in the United States as a nurse in Maryland, caring for elderly people, paying her taxes in the United States of America, and raising her children there in safety. All of them have been granted TPS protection. Now they face deportation to the war zone when the war is still ongoing. The war is still ongoing. This also means that Ndifo, which we majority of our people know and many of our members in PRAP know, who is a student in the University of Texas, who fled after being tortured for attending a protest when a young child was executed. Baby Tart was executed in the anglophone zone by the Cameroon military, who was struggling to collect money from drivers. He protested and was part of the group of people that held those military people account. After that, he fled to the United States. He was being sought after by the Cameroon army. He received this protection and was staying in safety in America. Now he risks being sent back to Buea. He may be sent back to Buea imminently as a recipient of this TPS. His dream of becoming a lawyer, he was studying law, of becoming a lawyer to fight for justice, but instead now he faces deportation and a legal nightmare in the United States of America. A lot of our people now will be living in fear in the United States of America, including Emmanuel, who is a construction worker in Ohio, a young Southern Cameroonian who also fled from Cameroon to the United States of America since 2017. And when they are granted this TPS, he also applied and was given this protection. May be sent back to a village that has been burned. His village in Com has been burned. He cannot return back to Ngwini in Com that has been burned. He's in the United States of America. There have been no reconstruction or assisted return of population back in this war zone. He's going back to a no village, no home, and faces risk from both Amazonian fighters in Com and the Cameroon military. The insecurity still exists back in home. These are just stories of 3 individuals, but they represent a spectrum of thousands of our people who live in the United States of America. Our brothers and our sisters that we know their circumstances and the threat they face, even for those people who have stayed back home, and we cannot remain silent. Let us be clear. The reasons why Cameroon, especially the anglophones, were granted this TPS in the United States of America still exists yesterday as it exists today. Nothing have changed. The militarization of our territory is still there. The military checkpoints are still there. Political prisons are still full. Mancho BBC, parents, students, teachers who were arrested by the Cameroon military for simply voicing their opinion or their support for our aspiration are still in prison. They didn't carry gun. The bullets are still flying in Kumbu. The bullets are still flying in Manfe. We have witnessed deaths of people and people still fleeing the territory. The TPS that was granted in 2022, because it was unsafe for people to return back home, that was the truth then. It still remains the truth today. Nothing has changed. So the DHS of America that claim that some of this conflict area remains safe and do no longer poses a threat to our people, their individual safety. But how was this assessment made? Did they go to the ground zero and walk the village of Kumbu and see our people fleeing from Akwaya? It is not safe for our people to go back. We know that for sure. We see it every day. People are still fleeing our home. Who defined this threat for the Americans when the world is calling for negotiated settlement? Did they send people to go and walk the street of Ndop? Have they gone to Ndop to walk in the four corners in Ndop? Have they gone to Kumbu, to Vikovi? Have they gone to Manfe? Have they even been to Bamenda to see how people live in fear? Have they been to Ghana Street? In Tarinkun, people cannot walk at night. People who go to the diaspora end in Yaoundé, they cannot go back to Bamenda and Boya. Have they visited the mass graves? Have they seen the rivers with people being dumped in river? Have they visited our people who lives in the bushis? Have they visited our refugees who are in Nigeria who cannot go back? Come on, for goodness sake. We're having to rent houses in Ghana for new arrivals who are running away from the war. It is not safe for our people to return home, and we must let the American government know. To all Amazonians and Anglophones who are living in the United States of America that will be affected and that are affected by this decision, you are not alone. Here in PRAP, we stand with you. We will continue to send documents to back up your claims, to support your case, and to establish the truth of what is happening on the ground, to substantiate the fear that our people face back home, both from the Cameroon government and radical, derailed Amazonian fighters who now pose a serious threat to the people, the safety of our people. They cannot come home. They cannot be deported. People who have previously been deported to Cameroon have been disappeared by the state. So we urge you to speak out, reach out to immigration lawyers, immigration advocates, so that they can consider you for individual cases for humanitarian parole or special protection. Do not remain silent until that 5th of August, where this law, this shield will be removed. Reach out to lawyers. There are a lot of pro bono lawyers. We can help people to do search and give them contacts of people who can be helpful to them, and United States advocates that can be helpful to them. Is very important. For our people who are in America, they should mobilize themselves and protest and make their voice collectively heard, because this is not a threat to individuals, a general threat. Write letters to your members of Congress. File in petitions. Share your stories. Share your stories. Talk out. Reach out to medias in the United States of America about the risk you face with an imminent deportation to Cameroon. If you do not speak out, nobody is going to speak out for you. And you're going to find yourself in a situation that you don't expect. The risk is real, both from the Cameroon government side. We saw the Minister of Territorial Administration, even when we declared cessation of hostility, rejected it. That shows you that members within the Cameroon government are still using force to intimidate our people, to arrest them illegally for their opinion and just for being who they are. For America, who have become a hope for the oppressed people, a shelter for refugees and asylum seekers all over the globe. Do not dim that light now. Do not dim that light when our people desperately need them. We share the same values of the Americans, and the Americans should have special consideration, a special place in the heart for our people. You cannot claim to be a champion for human rights and then you leave the victims of tyranny without any protection. American people and their government, their senators, their statement must reconsider this situation. We will not let this decision to break our spirit of resistance and demanding for dignity, demanding for a free homeland where our people can live in safety. We will continue to demand for situation to change on the ground, for negotiated settlement to end this war and take away the legitimacy for this violence. Let this be a rally call and rejuvenate the aspiration of our people within all the community in the diaspora who, because of cyberbullying from people like Ayabacho and his group, and extremists within our struggle, and even extremists from the Cameroon government side, Kunda, Titus, and the rest, do not stay silent any longer. Speak out. Communal groups should write letters as communal groups to fight this thing. It is our general fight. We rise today, and I speak today to you not in anger, but with purpose. I speak today to you not in fear, but with faith, because I believe in our value. I believe in our plight. I believe in justice. Not in retreat, but with renewed resistance, even with more principled approach. The TPS may be ending, but our demand for freedom and dignity for our people and peace will never end until we have peace, we have security, we have protection and recognition of our rights as a people, indigenous people, as minority people who have suffered persecution and almost assimilation. May God bless you wherever you are. And for those families who are back home, who have loved ones who are going to be affected by this decision, we are with you. We pray for you. We'll continue to stand for you and call for justice until safety and peace is returned. And this terror, because this is terror, this termination of this law alone will be terror in the hearts of majority of our people who have loved ones in the United States of America. Stay tuned. Be courageous. Take action now. Make your story be heard so that you can receive the protection you deserve. God bless you wherever you are.